So, Tom, this is for you. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a brief warm-up before we do the foot exercises, just to give your body a bit of a limber up. So hopefully you can follow along with these. I'll keep it very steady and don't panic, Mr. Mannering, as they say. Okay, so just a gentle jumping up and down. When you do this, your body should be really loose. If I do it sideways, it's floppy, but keeping my core strong, so nice and vertical, looking forward. Okay, next what I do is I go up, I bend my knees as my arms come down, then my arms go up, then my arms go up again, I bend my knees, they go down. So every second movement of the arms going down, I bend my knees. I'm staying flat-footed, okay, and I'm getting a bit of a stretch on my hips, and a stretch on my knee, and of course on my ankles. The next exercise is like rolling my shoulders back and forward with my arms, so it's a big stretch up. So it's really working the shoulders. So you're getting the tops of your arms with your shoulders near your ears. Then the rest of your body's nice and relaxed. And then leaning over to the side. When you do this, you have your knees slightly bent with both legs, and you're sort of coming, your weight is coming off my right leg as I drop to my left. My arm is nice and heavy over my side. So I'm getting a stretch here. I'm doing the same on the other side and the other side. Okay, then I'll widen my knees with my feet with my knees slightly bent. And I'll put my hands on the ground. I'll just ease down a bit. Then I come up, put my hands on my hips, and I just push my hips forward. Then I come down again, put my hands on the ground. Knees should stay bent, so there's no strain on the back of your legs or anything like that. Okay, you're just trying to get your lumbar part of your back to get a bit of extra movement. Okay, the reason to do this is like with everything else, not to jump straight into something without just a bit of preliminary. Okay, the next thing I do, I circle my arms around slowly and down to the ground, and then up. And again, you can see this is moving your hips, moving your abdomen, moving your arms, moving your shoulders. Bit of coordination, strengthening your core a little bit. You can go one way and the other way, or else you do 2 or 3 in one direction, 2 or 3 in the other direction. Okay. The next exercise we do is the typical leg stretch. With the leg stretch, your hands just stay just above your knees, and you keep your feet flat on the ground. Drop the other side, not too narrow and not too wide, sort of halfway point. Okay, and here what you're doing is you're stretching the backs of your legs a little bit, and you keep your feet flat on the ground. So you're starting to move your ankles around, starting to get stability in your body. Okay, and the next thing you can do is just drop over to the right side, and your left's going to have your toes sticking up, and you just hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds, then drop over the other side, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, then change again. And if you keep your hands on your legs the whole time, the way I'm doing, you should be fine. Okay, so you're not trying to get right down. You know, in the end you might do that, but for now this is fine. And again, you see you're just flexing your spine and your hips and your feet and your ankles and your toes. They're all starting to work a little bit. Okay, next thing we do is we bring our feet together and we just go down. Here, you put your hands on the ground, that's fine, up to you. Then you come up and push your knees back, then you come down. And what you're doing is you're stretching your toes, as you can see, so I'm like that. Coming up, pushing my knees back, then I'm going down. Okay, with this, you know, it's something you get used to. You know, the first or second time you do it, you go, oh no, I can't do this. But you know, once you've done it a dozen times, you get used to it, and then suddenly it becomes very easy. Like all of these exercises, you might find the first time you do it, you go, what's happening here? So they do require a bit of repetition to get you into it. Feet side by side, hands on your knees, rotate your knees. Keep the knees together, keep your hands just on the tops of your kneecaps. And it's just a smooth movement. This exercise is done in Qigong, you know, the Chinese inner power kind of martial arts stroke exercise. Before they start a class, they do, I think, 36 in each direction. So 36 one way, then 36 the other way. We don't do that many, but you can do quite a few. And after you've done them for a little bit of time, you might go a bit deeper, you know, after a couple of weeks of doing them. Like with all these exercises, if you do it once a week, it's no good to man nor beast. If you did it every day, it's really good for you. Do it twice a day, even better. Okay, and you can see I just keep moving. What it does, it gets the synovial fluid in your knees lubricating a little bit more, supposedly. I must say, you know, I'm an old man now, and my knees are as fine as wine so far. Okay. So the next exercise we do exercises for aikido, which I won't bother with. But what I'll do now is I'll do the floor exercises with you. So I'm going to bring the laptop down towards the ground so you can see very easily what I'm up to. Okay. Right. So the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to roll back and we're going to come forward and touch your toes. Okay, so I'm not rolling back very far, but I'm keeping my body together. So when I roll, it all stays together when I come up. So it's not just disjointed. So it's nice, smooth movement. And I touch my toes when I come up. So it's nice. I know you've got further to go to reach your toes, but there you go. And what I do here also is I roll to my right shoulder a little bit, and I look to my feet, and so my feet are coming slightly to my right side, and I come back up, and I hold my arms out to give me balance as I do it. And I look to the right, as I roll to the right, and then I roll to my left shoulder, and I look to the left, as I roll to the left, and I come back down. And what we do is we think of this as a bit of a back massage. So when you're doing this, you're just massaging your spine a little bit, obviously strengthening your core, because as your legs come down, you want your body to come up and stay together. So you want it to rock as one movement, and that requires your core, you know, your power inside your abdomen, down lower abdomen. You need that to be working. And when you come forward, obviously this is good for regular stretching. Okay, good. Now come forward. I don't know whether you can reach your toes. Some people can, some people can't. If you reach your shins, that's fine. We're bending from the waist. We're pulling our toes towards us, so they're not just floppy. They're active. So what that does is it stretches, by pulling your toes towards you, as you can feel, it stretches the backs of your tendons at the backs of your legs. Okay, and I'm bending from my waist. And if you can actually get to your toes, and if you can push your toes away from you, it stretches your body forward. So push your toes away, it pulls you forward, as you can see. I'm being pulled forward. Done a bit more. And gradually, I mean, to be honest, when I started in March, this is where I got to. Now, I can get right down here. It's amazing. For an old man, I just can't believe it. So incredible what regular flexibility sessions do. Okay, good. Now we're going to put our legs apart. Okay, put your left hand on your left foot, right hand reaching over the top. When I do this exercise, again, it's a foot exercise. I'm getting hold of my toes, or my soles of my feet if you can, and I'm pulling them towards me. And this one is staying active as well. It's not just flopping. Okay, staying up. And I'm reaching over and just holding, assume the position, as I said. Just holding it. Just easing down. When you're doing this, the really important point is just keep breathing as naturally as you can. Just hold it. And then right hand to the right foot. Left hand reaching over the top. When I reach over like this, I tend to look at the opposite foot, because then everything's in the right shape. And my left hand's reaching towards my right hand. And my right hand's obviously on my foot. It could be on my toes, could be on my shins, whatever you can reach. Okay, and now you just stretch, and you just ease your way down. You're just trying to give your body a little bit of tender, loving care. Stretching. Stretching. Just hold it. Good. Now you can put your right hand to your left foot, and your left hand goes just behind your left hip, so you can push yourself forward using your left hand. Try and get yourself down again. So you just gently does it. Gently does it. I know with your neck situation, this might not all be brilliant, but you can give it a go. Don't seem to be doing very much for my neck. I think it's should be staying pretty stable. So the bending is done from the waist, not from the neck. So when I'm bending, I'm trying to keep my neck fairly straight and bending my torso. Okay, the next exercise is wider knees if they'll go. Okay, so as my knees go wider, I'm now bending forward towards my center. Again, compared to 6 months ago, my feet were like this 6 months ago. Just doing this all the time. Just leaning forward. Again, I'm bending as much as I can from the waist. Okay, keeping the toes active, not floppy legs. Toes active, knees down, obviously. I'm trying to bend so my belly button is gradually going near the ground. Okay, give your hips a little wiggle when you're down like this, and just ease them down a bit more. If you can get your elbows on the ground, that's amazing. I can't, but some people can. people who can do the splits. It's not me, nowhere near. Good. Now bring your legs in. Now here's where we're starting to get to the actual feet exercises. So we're shaking the knees up and down like this. Okay. Now we're going to pull the feet towards us. Put your hands around your toes, hands around the hand. Pull your feet in as close as they'll go to you. Now I'll just turn sideways. And I'm going to try and push my abdomen, rather than being like this, I'm trying to push my abdomen forward to really have a nice straight back, if I can. And I look forward and I just shake my knees up and down. Okay, so you can feel your ankles are starting to get some work. You're holding your toes. Really, you can feel your toes getting engaged now on your feet. So the soles of the feet are touching each other. And you're just shaking your knees gently. So it's a relaxed exercise with your feet held in this position by your hands. Just shake. Okay, about 15 seconds probably. Now see whether you get your head. Your elbows come down in front of your knees. Now you're going to see whether you can get your head or your chin somewhere near your hands. Okay, so you just, again, it's just a stretch for this part of your back. You know, just you can feel it pulling. That's okay. Don't hurt it, but just feel the stretch. And again, like everything else, I can go a lot further now than I could do 6 months ago. And I've been doing aikido for years, well, 40 plus years, and karate. And I thought I'd reached the limits of my flexibility a long time ago, but I clearly haven't. Because this regular practice made a lot of difference. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's go on to the feet themselves. So what we do here is right leg straight, left leg over the knee, just above the knee. Okay, get hold of your big toe. Okay, your left hand's holding your left ankle, your right hand's holding your big toe, and you're rotating your ankle as far as it'll go in all the way around. And then you rotate it one way and then the other way. So rotate around, rotate the other way. So you're giving your ankle a good bit of flex. Okay, now you hold your foot with your left hand, like that. I'll clamp it closer. So I'm holding my foot with my left hand. Get hold of the toes with the right hand and just squeeze the toes around. So turning them in all directions. Now push the toes up, push the toes down. So I'll go sideways here a bit. So toes one way, toes the other way. So my hand holds the foot steady. So I can, my left hand, so my right hand can move my toes. Push them one way, push them in the other way. Okay, now I put my hands below my toes and above my toes, and I rub them in opposite directions. Do that nice and fast. So you're moving the bones of your feet are moving against each other and just generally giving them loads of flex. Now you put your palm of your hand above your toes, your fist below your toes, and you're going to bang them against each other. So the fist bangs the bottom of the toes and the ball of the foot, okay? And the hand slaps the toes and the top of the joints. Just all over. Just give it a good. Now you're going to chop the arch with the edge of your hands. Chop the arch. And when you chop the arch, chop all over it. Really feel it. Okay. Now with your right hand, hold your heel. With your left hand, hold your ankle. And now just with your left hand, lift your leg up and just shake your foot. Give it a little bit of floppiness. Good. Now down. Now right leg doing the same thing. So I'll come over this way. Okay, right hand holding the ankle, left hand holding the toe, big toe. Rotate the ankle. Big movement around, big movement the other way. Now hold the foot with the right hand. Toes get hold of the left. Hand gets hold of the toes. Left hand twisting the toes around. Now push the toes up. Push the toes down. Let's go this way, one way and the other way. So you're really pulling them towards you and push them away. So you're really getting a stretch. Now put your hand below the toe and hand above the big toe and rub the toes in opposite directions so they rub against each other. That's moving bones in the feet as well. Now, palm of the hand, right hand on the top of the toes, fist on the bottom of the toes. Bit of a massage, bang them. So both going in at the same time. Now chop the arch. Hold the heel, shake the foot. Legs down. Now rotate the ankles, big movement. When you do this, try to avoid leaning back like that. There's a temptation to do that. Try and stay forward. Good for your posture, of course, if you know all about. Okay, go around and around. Now point your toes away from you and towards you. Your feet, shall I say. Now wiggle your toes. Now we're going to come onto our knees. And this exercise is for your feet and for your back as well. Sorry, I'll just move this a little bit so you can see easier what I'm getting up to. Okay, we're almost finished now. So feet apart, toes apart. So knees apart, and you're going to lean back. What you're doing is just giving a bit of tension into your thighs, giving you a bit of a stretch on your feet because your toes are flat and you're leaning into them, so you're giving you a bit of a stretch there. Okay, and obviously you can feel the tension on your toes a little bit. Don't lean back far, just hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3, come up. Go again. 1, 2, 3, hold it, come back. Feel it on your thighs, one more at a time. 1, 2, 3, hold it. Okay, now sit down onto your heels. I don't know how flexible your heels are for this kind of thing, but they will become more flexible by sitting on them more often. So if you see where I'm sitting down here, my heels are actually slightly out rather than sitting on top of my heels. So they come out the side. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to widen my knees. Okay, so I'm sitting onto my hip and I'm going to slide forward like this with my knees nice and wide so I can get my body, well, my head anyway, onto the ground, hopefully. Like that. And when you're down here, just sit into your heels with your bum. So you're really making your hips really flexible, and your thighs and your knees and your shoulders, which is because you stretch your hands out, and just relax your head on the ground. Just hold that position. Okay. And from there, just come forward, put your hands by your side, push your body up. And just hold that position for a little bit. Maybe look up towards the ceiling if you can. I think it's a yoga position. Okay, then the last thing, bring your knees forward and just lean back a little bit. So you're getting a stretch on your thighs, sitting onto your feet. So again, you're engaging your feet because I'm sitting here. When I stretch back, when I go back like this, it engages my feet, gives them a bit of work. Okay, now we finish. When you finish, come up onto your toes and just give your toes a bit of a, like instead of just getting up, just try whether you can get all your toes working by, if your knees are forward, open your knees, okay? So you're working your little toes as well as your big toes, and just bring your knees forward so it stretches your toes a few times. And obviously that stretches all your foot. So knees forward and back. Okay, now come up, hands on your knees. Knees slightly again, rotate your knee. Rotate the other way. Rotate one way, rotate the other way, shake out. And now rattle your fingers. This is a different, interesting exercise. It's what you're doing is you're shaking your fingers, so it shakes your body. Now your wrists. So fingers and wrists. Okay. Do something there. Okay, wrists. Okay. Head up and down. Head to left shoulder and right shoulder. I think we're still here. Oh, we are, yeah. Something jumped onto my screen. Yeah, head on left shoulder and right shoulder. Looking left and right. Looking up and down. And just shoulders forward, shoulders back. Okay, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, you could do these last exercises kneeling down as well, because again, you're giving your feet a bit of a stretch. One of the things I do, which you may find useful, is to just sit in the lounge watching the TV or whatever you do, or listen to music, but sitting like this, rather than sitting in a chair, because it might help over time give your feet a bit more flexibility. You know, it's good. And I mean, there's lots of other little bits and pieces, but this is just a bit of a start. And thanks for watching and maybe taking part. And to be honest, Tom, I'd love to do this one-to-one with you, so we can sort of look at how it reacts for you. So I'd welcome some feedback. And if there are things I've done where you go, mate, I don't know what you're trying to get me to do here, do let me know. And maybe we can work around. And I would say if you're able to do these once a day, it would be great. Twice a day would be even more amazing. But once a week probably wouldn't work. But maybe if you started, maybe if you did it something like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then fill in the gaps. And I do it first thing in the morning and I do it in the evening. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, I think. Anyway, arrivederci Roma. See you soon. I'll save this and